Your body count is your power. And if that sentence makes your pulse jump even a little, good, because that's exactly where I want you right now. Leaning closer, curious, alert, ready to hear what no one ever taught you without shame, without apology, without whispering like it's a secret that could ruin you. Because I'm going to say this clearly, slowly, and with my full chest. Your experiences do not dilute you. They define you. And the moment you understand that, you stop negotiating your worth with anyone who hasn't earned access to it. I remember the first time I realized this wasn't about numbers at all. It was about narrative, about who gets to tell the story of my life and my choices. Because I watched brilliant, magnetic women shrink themselves in conversations, soften their voices, lie by omission, all because they were taught that being desired too much somehow disqualifies you from being respected. And that lie has cost women centuries of confidence. Let me pull you into a real moment. One I lived, standing in a softly lit room, music low, glass warm in my hand, listening to a man speak with absolute certainty about what a high-value woman should be. And I noticed something fascinating. The women around him were quiet, nodding, calculating how to fit into his framework, while I felt this calm certainty rise in me. Because power doesn't argue, it observes. And I realized my body count wasn't something to defend or disclose or disguise. It was a resume of self-knowledge, of boundaries tested and refined, of standards sharpened by contrast. Philosophy has always whispered this truth to those who listen. That experience is the teacher no book can replace. And psychology confirms it. The more data you have about yourself, the less easily you're manipulated by fantasy, projection, or fear. So when I say use it wisely, I don't mean hide it, and I don't mean flaunt it. I mean integrate it, own it, understand what each connection taught you about your desires, your triggers, your non-negotiables. Because men who fear your past are terrified of your discernment. And men who respect it know they cannot play small games with a woman who has seen too much to be impressed by crumbs. If this is already hitting somewhere tender, stay with me. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Turn on notifications. Because I don't teach surface-level confidence. I teach sovereignty. The kind that changes how you walk into rooms and how people rearrange themselves around you. And as I speak, notice how your shoulders relax when you stop treating your history like a confession and start treating it like intelligence. Here's the reframe that changes everything. And I want you to really hear this. Not with your ears, but with your nervous system. Your body count is not a scorecard. It's a calibration system. It's how you learned what consistency feels like versus intensity. How you learned the difference between attention and intention. How you learned that chemistry without character is chaos. And that safety without desire is stagnation. And this knowledge makes you dangerous in the best way. I've watched women with almost no experience give away years of their lives because they didn't yet recognize red flags as boredom dressed up as mystery. And I've watched women with rich histories choose partners with surgical precision because they knew exactly what peace costs and what it's worth. This is where psychological power comes in. Because when you no longer seek validation for your choices, you stop being predictable. And unpredictability, when rooted in self-respect, is magnetic. It keeps people leaning in, trying to understand you, not categorize you. There's a quiet luxury in a woman who doesn't over-explain herself, who doesn't rush to prove she's not like that, who lets silence do the work because she knows her presence already answers the question. Use your experience wisely by refusing to perform purity for people who benefit from your self-doubt. By noticing how quickly someone tries to control the narrative of your past. By clocking whether their curiosity is about knowing you or owning you. Because a man who wants access to your future must respect the path that built you. It'll give you a subtle relationship hack that has saved me years. I never disclose my past to earn closeness. I disclose to observe character. I watch whether he listens without flinching, whether he asks thoughtful questions or makes moral calculations, whether he tries to lower my value to feel taller. And that information is priceless. If you're taking this in, comment your biggest takeaway so far. Because when women name their insights out loud, they solidify them. And understand this too. Dominance isn't loud. It's grounded. It's the woman who doesn't chase, doesn't justify, doesn't compete with ghosts, because she knows she's the present moment. And presence is power. Let me leave you with the truth that sets queens apart from girls still asking permission. Your body count only weakens you when you let others define it. And it becomes unstoppable power when you define it as wisdom. As contrast, as the reason you no longer romanticize inconsistency or tolerate confusion. I don't teach women how to be chosen. I teach women how to choose. Because the most seductive energy in the world is self-trust. And nothing builds that faster than lived experience examined honestly. There is a reason philosophy says the unexamined life is not worth living. And I'll add this, the unowned life is not fully lived either. So stand in your story without flinching. Let your standards be informed by reality, not fantasy. Let your past sharpen your future. And watch how quickly the wrong people disqualify themselves when you stop auditioning for approval. This is how you use it wisely. You don't broadcast. You don't conceal. You embody. You move differently. You speak slower. You choose faster. And the world adjusts. If this shifted something in you, if you feel that quiet click inside where clarity replaces shame, stay with Femphoria. Subscribe. Turn on notifications. Come back to this message whenever you forget how powerful you are. And remember this line. Write it somewhere if you need to. My past did not make me less. It made me precise. And precision is the ultimate luxury. The kind that doesn't beg to be seen. It's recognized. And before you close this video or scroll away thinking you've already heard the message, let me press this into you one last time. Slowly, deliberately, because this is where women either level up or loop the same lessons for another decade. Power is not in what you've done. It's in what you've learned and no longer tolerate. And the woman who understands this moves through dating, love, and life like she owns the terrain, not like she's asking for a visa. I want you to imagine the version of you who no longer tightens her chest when the topic of her past comes up, who doesn't rehearse answers or preemptively defend herself, who knows that mystery is not silence born from shame, but silence chosen from confidence, because she decides what deserves her vulnerability. That woman is not cold. She's selective. And selectivity is the feminine equivalent of a crown. Men feel it immediately. The shift when you're no longer seeking reassurance, but assessing alignment. When your eyes soften, but your standards don't. When your laughter is warm, but your boundaries are immovable. And this is why I say your body count is your power only when it has taught you discernment. Because discernment is what separates chemistry from destiny. The luxury life isn't about money or aesthetics. It's about not wasting emotional energy on people who haven't earned intimacy. About walking away without drama. About choosing peace over potential. And potential over fantasy. And when you live from that place, you stop fearing judgment because you've already judged your own life with honesty and come out proud. This is your reminder. Not to add more experiences. Not to erase old ones. But to alchemize them. To turn memory into mastery. To let every chapter refine your intuition until you trust yourself more than anyone else's opinion. Stay here. Stay sharp. Stay sovereign. And when you catch yourself shrinking, come back to this truth. I am not behind. I am informed. I am not damaged. I am discerning. And I am not asking permission to exist fully. Because women who own their story don't need to convince the world of their value. The world eventually adjusts to it.